T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk Special Edition. Pay-per-view, post-show, Clash at the Castle. It's me and Kane in the building. What's going on?
Sorry for the delay, everybody. We would have been on sooner, but Tyson Fury jacked the broadcast. Not the Clash of the Castle broadcast, but our very own broadcast. He was talking to us, making us sing karaoke songs and stuff like that. So we had to get him off the chat, and we can go on and do everything. What a premium live event, TK, that was. Clash at the Castle going down in Cardiff, Wales. The first premium live event in 30 years in the UK. Back in our day, we used to call them pay-per-views, but the first one since SummerSlam 1992, and the first event, I believe, since Insurrection, those pay-per-views, which WWE used to do exclusively in the UK, which I kind of miss those. And with the crowd tonight, what we saw, I think we should get more pay-per-views or premium live events or whatever you want to call it at overseas. Like, we should have more of those in overseas locations. And I think this was a test, and I think we're going to eventually get one of the big four. I'm hoping it's a WrestleMania. I think a WrestleMania in Wembley is Triple H's goal, to do a WrestleMania at Wembley Stadium in London. And I think that's what everyone wants to see. It will be in the UK, obviously, but I think a WrestleMania in London will be that. And I think this was kind of like the litmus test, if you will, and it was very lit. So what a card it was, TK.
It was. So let's start. I didn't have quite a chance to get all the graphics, but we'll start with
that damn Tyson Fury.
That part. Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Bianca Belair versus Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. How did you this? Let me get your opinion first, because this match was really good.
Yeah, opening match of the card. Of course, the pre-show featuring the Street Profits and Madcap Moss against Alpha Academy and the newly named Austin Theory. So big shouts to the pre-match in which the Street Profits and Madcap Moss won. This was the first show of the card. Interesting, because we got a name finally for Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai, which is a mouthful. Now we can call them Damage Control, also known as what WWE's been doing for the past 2 months with the Vince McMahon scandal. But that name was too long, so they just, shortened it to Damage Control only. The theme music was dope. Okay, I gotta hear it. Get them in there. Good match. Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair were their opponents. By the way, there was no Lily with Alexa Bliss. Could Lily not clear customs? Is Lily not vaccinated? You think like Lily's vaccinated or not?
Probably not. I mean, traveling is quite the issue still. So, definitely.
I thought it was dope that we saw Michael Cole acknowledge the past, which is what seems under Triple H's regime we're doing a lot of. Triple H acknowledged that, back in Stardom, Io Shirai, her sister Mio Shirai, and Asuka were were a team. They were together. If you guys, follow Joshi, they were triple tails back in the day. And I think that was really cool to kind of acknowledge and to kind of give a little personal history between Asuka and now Io Sky. But back in the day, when they were just Kana, Io and Mio. So I thought that was pretty dope. Bianca ends up pinning Bayley ends up pinning Bianca. It was a good match, good back and forth. I thought that Damage Control would get the win. I thought that they're gonna revisit Bianca and Bayley now that Bayley is healthy once again over from SmackDown. Now they're on Raw. So we have a new feud for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair defends her title against Bayley.
Yeah, what I really loved about this was how they worked together. Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Shirai. Like there are certain things where it's like it was almost like timed, where it's like, okay, somebody's coming. All right, after you hit this, like I don't know, like kudos to them because how it all planned out and how they executed it was amazing. And I'm a Bianca girl. I want Bianca to win. However, her title wasn't on the line, so it was it wasn't as invested for me. But it was a really, really great match. I loved how in particularly damage control like worked together.
Correct.
And I wish other like if you're gonna just form a tag team or form like a trios, then that's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all great separate, but them together, they made it a cohesive unit. And like it was like they're all on the same page versus like, you just stick two people together and hey, you guys are a tag team now. So again, we'll thank Papa H for that if he was a part of that whole idea, but just a beautiful thing.
And remember, to those upset that Bianca took the pin, remember, she took 3 moves. She took 3 moves to pin her. She took the finisher from all 3 members of Damage Control, and Bayley ended up pinning her. So that protects her, even though a champion did take the pin. Bayley didn't beat her 1-on-1. It was 3-on-1 after Asuka and Alexa Bliss have been put down in the match. So I'm excited to see Bianca and Bayley rehash their feud. And see, folks, WWE can also do trios matches. How about that?
And it looked really, really good. Next up is Gunther and Sheamus. The intro was this whole. I mean, you said it at the beginning, and I'm sure we're going to say this a million times during this post show. But this whole was quite entertaining. Like I was very upset that I had to do a lot of multitasking through it, but it was quite entertaining. Like this is one of those ones where definitely don't go to the bathroom. Wear a diaper if you need to. You should have ate before it started. It was all the way through and through a good show.
Yes, TK, I am still sitting in my diaper. Hopefully the absorbents will work. I mean, we're going to find out if I get squishy during the show. I mean, this was a banger from the beginning. As soon as Sheamus's theme hit, it was just like, it's time. I mean, all of these Europeans in Europe, it was like a European brawl. Sheamus comes out with Ridge Holland and Butch. Butch looked very happy to be back home, as well as Ridge Holland. Of course, Sheamus is from Europe. For all my geography folks out there, Ireland and Northern Ireland are 2 different places. They share the same island, yes, but Northern Ireland is UK, which is where Sheamus is not from. Sheamus is from Ireland, their own thing. But we'll get into the IRA armies talk and Bloody Sundays and the Troubles geography beast later. And then we get my guy Gunther ready to roll out. My guy Ludwig Kaiser comes out. He's on a roll, by the way. Kaiser roll. And we see him, it's a one shot on him, and he's like, all right, he's about to introduce Gunther. He's like, yo, fam. He introduces Giovanni Vinci, the former Fabian Archer, former member of Imperium, who we last saw when they were together, just kind of waltz up out there in NXT, and then we get Imperium on SmackDown without him, and he comes back as Giovanni Vinci. But I marked out. I was like, oh my God, Imperium's back. And he's wearing the black, Kaiser has on the black, and we haven't seen Vinci since he was on Heatwave, where he challenged Carmelo Hayes for NXT North American Championship. We didn't know that'd be the last time we see him. He put on that banger, but I enjoyed the Vinci gimmick. You know what I mean? I like the pictures and snapshots and the, rich Italian aristocrat and whatnot. But with Imperium, it's pretty badass, man. You know what I mean? And we saw, and we should have known that this was kind of, foreshadowed when we saw the stare down between Gunther and Sheamus on SmackDown 2 weeks ago. And we saw Butch and Rich Holland only attacking Kaiser because it was 3 against 2. So, Vinci pulled up with their skirt. Imperium is the army, better yet, the Navy. They got the all black back on, the ring generals back. The mat is sacred. And boy, did we have a lot of dope action with this match. I mean, just hard hitting, like we all should have on neck braces. Everybody was red at the end of it. I thought it was a very, very physical, dope match. It was over 20 minutes of just big guy slapping meat, big sweaty man slapping meat. Gunther retains and just a very violent clothesline to close it out. But I thought it was a dope match, and I just want people to really, appreciate Sheamus. I think we take advantage of Sheamus and his longevity and just how long he's been around and how whatever he does, he gets over. He gets over every single thing he does, no matter his place in the card. So it was really dope to see Sheamus at the end get that, that standing ovation. He's a Hall of Famer. Appreciate Sheamus, fella.
Yeah, I mean, it takes obviously a great wrestler to make other wrestlers look good. And when there's 2 great wrestlers, I mean, the writing's on the wall. So yeah, that was definitely, definitely a great match. Just want to shout some people in the chat. So shout to Sammy and Bosa. So Bosa says, of course, Gunther needed Imperium to take out the brawling brutes. He is scared to death of Sheamus. So, I mean, maybe that makes sense. But I'm all about factions. So
yes. We need more factions back in WWE, coherent factions that make sense. And from the moment Giovanni Vinci pulled up, I was kind of in on Sheamus and Gunther, excuse me. And I kind of wanted this to be like the end match, whatever. But as soon as I saw Vinci pull up, it just added another layer. It added more runway to what now we can have between the Brawling Brutes and Imperium, which is going to be a very, very violent feud. Going to be very.
I just want to pull up some pictures too of Sheamus's chest. That was, look at that. I mean, we already know that like he's lily white, so it looks even worse. But Jesus, that's
the whole thing was chops versus beats. You know what I mean? It was Walter's chops, the chop god, versus Sheamus, who beats your chest 10 times and counting. And it was just violent back and forth between 2 big ass dudes, just beating the hell out of each other for 20 minutes. It was very strong. It was very stiff. It's what European wrestling is. A lot of British strong style, a lot of the Irish, a lot of the European. It's very much about strikes and grapples. Ain't too many dudes jumping up the top rope over here. You know what I mean? So Assange like the Will Ospreay and whatnot. But as far as like the bigger heavyweights, they're true heavyweights, and they beat the hell out of each other for 20 minutes. I thoroughly enjoy it, and we're going to see what happened. Would the Brawling Brutes get a new member? Who knows? Because I like to see Alexander Wolf return to Imperium and just have all 4 of them out here. So Imperium is a great gimmick that absolutely should get some run on the main roster. Absolutely. If we're going to put Hit Row on the main roster, come on, let's put Imperium on too. Sorry for Hit Row to catch a stray, but adio mio with that. So great match, and I can't wait to see what Sheamus and Gunther continues to do.
Yeah. So like Kane said, Gunther wins by pinfall and retains the WWE Intercontinental Championship. And then next up is Liv Morgan against Shayna Basler, which also, and I'm going to say this pretty much every match, which also was an amazing match. I think a lot of people didn't expect it to be. A lot of people don't expect a lot out of Liv. No shade to Liv. No shade to Liv, but not.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So, but we'll go into all that. What did you think of the match?
I think that it's unfortunate they had to go after Sheamus and Gunther. Clearly, it was the cool down match following that. But I think they held their own. Big shouts to Michael Cole, who's been phenomenal on commentary under the Triple H regime, highlighting this. It's been 900 days since Shayna Basler has challenged for a singles title. Of course, she had the women's tag team title run with Nia Jax, but it's been 900 days since she's challenged for a title. I would have loved to have seen Liv win controversially. I would love to see her win dirty, like she won against Ronda. I feel like it would have made more sense for her to win with a question mark than it did clean. I mean,
really?
she beat Ronda clean, because then I think that would have gave both Ronda and Shayna a beef to be like, look, she didn't really beat us. We need a rematch. And then that sets up a triple threat, which if Liv can beat both Shayna and Ronda in a triple threat, that really makes her look that much stronger. But overall, good match. I thought Shayna got in some good offense. It was good to see her back in that position, but you know, she was so dominant on NXT, and then we saw her come to the roster and beat everybody's asses in the Elimination Chamber. Like, we've seen her be dominant. So it's hard for us to suspend that disbelief that one-on-one Liv can beat her clean. That was my only problem with it. That's why I wanted Liv to win questionably. I wanted Liv to have kind of like the same win shit against Ronda.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that, but then also I think that Liv couldn't her title reign, not as she did it questionably, it wouldn't solidify. So I think now they're trying to solidify her as a champion that she can beat cleanly. I know with Shayna Basler, it doesn't quite make too much sense, but I did like how the match was going, where you have Liv really kind of getting in fast chops, all this other stuff, where Shayna was trying to slow it down. So you're still that they're actually storytelling the match versus Liv saying, I'm gonna go, hand to hand with everything that you're trying to do. Obviously, Shayna is gonna outwit her like Ronda did. So I do like the fact that she won cleanly. So now you could kind of start putting respect on Liv's name, like Sammy here. Liv is still champion, and and Sammy, said if Liv didn't become champion, he would call corporate. So apparently Sammy has corporate number. Let me know what corporate number is, because I have a.
Not Sammy being a kin. I'm called the managers. He's been a kin.
So definitely, congratulations to Shayna Basler. I want to pull up her picture here. Oh no, sorry, Liv Morgan. For that. So she did an incredible job. So let us know in the chat. So Sam is saying, I'm happy to have to call corporate, because they're going to hear from me today.
You think they're open on a Saturday? I don't know. They're open on a Saturday. Everyone's out to work. It's Labor Day. Everyone's in Wells. Maybe that intern will pick up. Who knows?
Who knows? So next match we have is Edge and Rey Mysterio versus Judgment Day, which I actually, again, great match. We have Kane here, who didn't leave his seat at all this whole pay-per-view. Great match. What did you think?
This was awesome. I really enjoyed Edge pulling up, rocking the luchador mask, looking like the Canadian destroyer out here. I thought that was going to be key to the match, or at least to the future, because I enjoyed that Edge had the mask, and I thought that would play a role in the match. It didn't, but it could for the future. Big shouts to the European crowds singing the theme. It sounded very, very cool. Take that, Judas. That's not the only song that wrestling fans sing to. And I mean, they won the tag titles, Edge and Rey Mysterio, in November of 2002. I mean, that was like fresh out of the Get the F Out campaign, I believe, and just becoming WWE when they won the title. First time in 10 years tagging. Edge had to do the Nino Brown New Jack City meme, you know what I mean? And my brother's keeper holding the blicker, and he had to take out his own his own creation, Edge Rey Mysterio, get the win in a very dope match. I love that Judgment Day seemed like they're really coming together. Finn Balor and Damian Priest are a great tag team, and the added presence of Rhea Ripley, who's just amazing in what she does. And I took a note, and I was like, okay, Edge won, Edge Rey Mysterio won. I'm shocked Dominic didn't turn. He actually helped them win the match, distracting the ref and grabbing Finn Balor's boot. And that was it. And there was in the ring celebrating, just having a gay old time and clapping. And then It happened. My guy, Dominic Mysterio, probably frustrated that he's not even tagging with his daddy, frustrated that Edge gets a mask, and Dominic is Rey Mysterio's son. He doesn't even have a mask, and I'm tired of being whipped by, Rhea Ripley. He kicks Edge square in the nuts, right in the Canadian maple leaf. He kicks Edge to piss himself laughing, just like, ah! And I like the way that Dominic just walked out. He didn't align himself with Judgment Day. He didn't. He's just Dominic. He just walked out and dipped out. So we have more questions than answers, which I thought was amazing. I'm so happy that he didn't turn in the match, which is what we were all expecting. We were all expecting for him to help Judgment Day win, but it helps Edge get his revenge on Judgment Day. Rey Mysterio gets his revenge on Judgment Day, but who doesn't get the revenge on Judgment Day? Dominic.
Right.
So I think that's really cool and to open up that angle. I don't think we've ever seen like a father-son Sons McMahon angle between two wrestlers.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
I think I think everybody has been wanting Dominic to turn. So we have Ty in the chat. Well, referring back to Shayna, I wanted Shayna to just brutalize Liv. And I think Bosa said a little bit earlier on that we're going to see them in Extreme, and that makes sense. I feel like they're definitely handpicking people for Liv to build her up and then essentially tear her down for Ronda, unfortunately. LP, I believe is new. I want Dominic revenge spot against Mommy. I mean,
hey, that autocorrect. It's the autocorrect. I understand. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, I mean, but I enjoy Dominic's look at me. I'm the Poppy now. I love that I'm the Poppy now look he did. So he even got the Eddie mullet. The Eddie Guerrero mullet going on. And
then Bosa said, did it make better sense to do what they did during the match? I think actually end of the match, because I know, like you were saying, Kane, that people were expecting for him to do it during the match. I think end of the match was perfect. You're watching everything, and you might have walked into this thinking a certain way, and then watching how Edge and your dad are like working well. That was just a built up, and then it just came to like, we're not doing this. I'm going to do
and it's just like, the Mysterios did get some revenge, if you will, against Judgment Day at SummerSlam, but that was because of Edge's interference. Edge came through, he came back and helped them win, and Dominic's looking at it like, damn, bro, damn, dad. So like, you saying that your own blood, your own mijo is not good enough to like help you win this? Like, I'm your son. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to help you win. Okay. Well, I still helped you win. And this is the thing. So you know what? I don't need this, bro. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Teenage angst.
Disrespect, though. I mean, I know it's wrestling and all, but I thought of like, if anybody has ever tried to do that to their parents, well, people I know. Ever tried to do that to your parents? It would have been a wrap. Like, what? You're not even checking to see if Edge is okay. It's like, I'm gonna beat your ass in this ring.
Yeah.
And fluidly.
Where was Dominic Mysterio's abuelita? Okay, where was Dominic Mysterio's abuela to throw the chancla and be like, no, we don't disrespect. But I mean, technically, is this elder abuse because he beat up Edge and Rey Mysterio? No, okay, cool.
Oh my gosh! You wanted squeeze it in there, right?
Yeah.
So next up is going to be Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. I really liked. I'm gonna say this very much. I really like this match. I like the promos for this match. It was a very good card. So what did you think?
I mean, look, man. Sethy F. Rollins, and the F is for fashionista. My guy came out dripping with the Elton John swag. I mean, look at my guy. The Elton John inspired gear, and Saturday Night's all right for Seth Rollins. See what I did there? That's an Elton John song. Saturday Night's all right. Because he picks up the win in a very brutal, personal, violent match against Matt Riddle. Best match of Matt Riddle's career. I mean, Riddle lost the match, but he won his first name back, so it's all good. The Euro crowds really love, again, they really love the soccer chants. It sounded good. I thought The match was very physical. Riddle got in a lot of offense, a lot of personal offense. He was like, I'm not going to wrestle you. I'm going to beat your ass. And that's essentially what Riddle told him in a promo. So it harkened back to that. And Riddle, unfortunately, let his emotions get in the way. His emotions clouded his mind. And because he wasn't wrestling, because he was fighting, that kind of is what cost him the loss. We saw the finish. Riddle picks up a chair from outside, goes to strike Seth outside, misses. Seth runs in the ring. Riddle chases after him. Boom, curb stop. I mean, what a spot that was. Amazing. And then a couple more offenses, and then Riddle's down. Seth climbs the top rope and does a curb stomp from the second rope. I mean, like, he really meant that he wanted to get Riddle up out of here. He was not laughing at that Riddle. It was no joke with that. And Seth Rollins gets a much-needed win on a big premium live event, which was needed, for him. Even though Seth has kind of reached that level where, wins and losses up until championship matches doesn't really matter because he's just that damn good. You know what I mean? So, but thought it was a great match, and I think this could be it. I mean, we heard Seth talking. All right, see you later, Riddle. That's it. I hope it's the end of the feud. I think we've gotten the blood feud out enough, unless they're going to do something very violent at Extreme Rules. But I think it's time for everybody to move on, and maybe Randy's is ready to return or do something with him. But yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a great match. I love the promos, both promos that were leading into it. It's telling a story, and I think that's what I've probably been talking about. I know both of us probably heard me say this 100 times, if not more. Like, storylines are important because now you're a little bit more invested. And even though I wasn't if either party won, I would have been okay with it. I was still invested to find out because now you're bringing in family. And when you bring in family, almost all bets are off. And now you want to see who's going to outsmart that individual. So I am all for the storyline, the buildup, and like even realizing that we're literally at our last match. And it was a very tight card. Like, it was tight. There was no matches that didn't make sense. There's no matches that were thrown together. It was like a perfect storyline for the whole card, and it was watchable, like all the way through.
Yeah, nothing felt like filler. You know what I mean? Like everything felt very, very tight. Everybody really bought it, and I thought the whole card was like really, really just it was good. I don't know if our expectations were low. Maybe we're just excited for like Triple H because this is Triple H's first true card. SummerSlam was kind of in the midst of already happening, so we just had not to crash the Ferrari. But this was Triple H's first production. So big shouts to Matt Riddle, who put on the banger with Seth Rollins, and he can go back to the locker room and look at motivational texts. He loves motivational text messages that Matt Riddle texting back and forth. Great with the text.
Oh boy. So our last and final match, Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. Going into this, I was kind of worried. Because I think I was worried, but again, I was multitasking. So I was about to say it in the chat, but I'm like, we're going to talk about it later. So here we are. But I was kind of worried. He's in his own home country. People are cheering for him. Like, this would make sense. So what did you think about this match?
I mean, banger. Absolute banger. I mean, just like, first of all, the way this started, I thought it was kind of funny because Karrion Kross was shown alongside Scarlett in the audience. So did like Karrion Kross and Scarlett buy tickets before they got rehired? And was like, well, we already bought tickets, so we're just gonna sit in the crowd. We're just gonna, sit here. No, all right, cool. So I thought that was really interesting. But it started off fire with the Broken Dreams vignette. I thought Broken Dreams, I thought he was going to walk out the Broken Dreams, you know what I'm saying? But I was like,
Mhm.
you know, the theme he got now is too much of a banger to not play in the UK, you know what I mean? But we get the Broken Dreams vignette of seeing him as the chosen one and coming out as that babyface IC champion to what he
Mhm.
went through to come back as the grizzled vet with the beard, winning the title at WrestleMania. He comes out. I was very worried off the rip because he didn't have a kilt on. So when he came up with no kilt, I was just like, boy, Roman came out. I don't care what you say, man. Roman Reigns is different. This is reaching Hulk Hogan-esque levels when it comes to the hugeness, the monumental run, and even bigger than Hogan because there's more TV, there's more shows, there's more pay-per-views, premium live events, there's more access, more viewership on wrestling now, more criticism of it, more talks of it. 734 days as champion, 23 title defenses. He was last pinned in December of 2019. Like, let's think about that. You know what I mean? December 2019. Like, that's a whole different situation. And then he talks to his in, and somebody grabs him, and we look, it's Solo Sequoia being called up from NXT. There were rumors he will be making his debut on the main roster. And Drew kicks in the Claymore. 1, 2, referee pulls out, and we see. I thought it was Dexter Lumis at first, like with the black hoodie, and he reveals it.
I saw part of the face, and I was like, "Oh, it's either
Dexter?
Jimmy or Jay." And then because it's the nose is definitely not a Dexter nose. And then I was like, "Oh, okay." So I'm gonna have to get Clement to make an addition to
the bloodline, the head of the table, the Samoan dynasty.
We need to shake things up. It's a little different. I mean, obviously, I'll still be there, but
of course, you got to squeeze them in next to you. You got to squeeze them in next to you. Yes.
Clement, our graphic designer to recreate
I thought that Karrion Kross tossing bottles was kind of funny, like throwing water bottles at people. I thought that Karrion Kross would be more involved in the match, given all the promos we saw and the TikTok and the dead roses we saw that he delivered yesterday on SmackDown. Of course, that Sammy received and had the Rotten Rose with the TikTok. We thought he'll be more involved. But overall, I thought it was a great match. Drew looked good. It was over 30 minutes of big sweaty man slapping
and it didn't feel like 30 minutes. That's like,
what it didn't feel. Yeah. It was a big match feel. I mean, this whole event felt big. It felt probably bigger than SummerSlam, probably as big as Roxana as far as like the magnitude of the pay-per-view. Solo Sequoia being the third Uso brother, just when you think that the bloodline is not here. Oh yeah, we got one more, by the way, that you might have forgot about. Solo Sequoia, who I guess will now be like a name for him, but Baby Uso is in the building. I like Taekwon's comment because I was also kind of leaning on that too, like as Lil Uzi Vert. I thought that was like very good. I was like, yo, like, because he's the third Uso, so Trey Uso, we see what goes on with that, and now where does Solo Sequoia fits in it. But to Joseph says this should have been it. It just felt like this was the excuse to debut Solo to show that Roman is weak. We are still in this mess of a bit Roman's world. Are they winning to WrestleMania 39 for it to end? Yes.
Bosa.
Yes. Actually.
Yes.
But you know what?
I mean, here's the thing though. If Roman lost, then what?
That's what we talked about. If Roman lost, then what? Because people were like, well, what if, you know, Drew just won one title? He just won the World Heavyweight title and took that back to Raw. You know what I mean? But no, both titles were on the line. It is the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So it would have been both titles. I think that, yeah, that was pretty awesome when he said our guys on TikTok. I was like, digital, analog, whatever clock you want to use, sand, paperwork, whatever you can do. But I thought that Killer Kross or Karrion Kross would have been involved more. Sans tossing the battles. And I thought that, to my point, Joseph, yes, correct. This will be Drew McIntyre's first big main event in front of an actual crowd. And remember, the whole thing was, is WWE really going to throw a pay-per-view behind one person, branded behind Drew McIntyre in the UK, and have him lose? Abso-freaking-lutely. You must don't know professional wrestling, friend. And Triple H knows how to get Triple H heat. You got to spell the heat with 3 H's. Okay, because that was absolutely amazing to see that and to draw the heat. And it's only fitting that Broken Dreams played, because that's what happened to Drew McIntyre. It was Broken Dreams. He leaves not as champion, but he gets the respect of Tyson Fury, who was very involved in this match, unlike Karrion Kross. We heard A-Town down.
Beautiful.
Austin Theory runs down to cash in his Money in the Bank contract, and he's talking to the ref, and then from nowhere, boom! Only a punch that Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, whoever can experience, that Tyson Fury knocks out Austin Theory to not have him involved in the match. And then Tyson Fury just comes in the ring and shakes Roman's hand. I thought a Superman punch was going to happen. Something's going to happen. And then Roman walks away with Soda Sequoia, and that's it. But no, there's more, which I feel like this should have been a digital exclusive. They were supposed to cut the feed or something, but Tyson Fury is just, saying Drew, he made him proud, and he starts singing American Pie and all that.
Yeah, that was.
And then
that
Drew
was
singing Sweet Caroline, and I was like, "What's going on here?" Drew even was like, "I don't know if we're on the air or not, but whatever, dog." Here we are. Here we are. Right now, like we're doing karaoke. Like we're gonna see if this is a shoot fight, who wins between Drew Galloway and Tyson Fury. But overall, good match. The crowd goes home happy to see Drew McIntyre. I think they understand, where Drew fits in it. But Drew McIntyre should never be anywhere below the heavyweight championship scene. I mean, Drew McIntyre's a star.
Yeah, but here's the problem though. Like, how many? Like, yeah, he had it throughout the pandemic and stuff like that. But it almost feels like he almost has, I don't want to call it like the Bobby Lashley curse, but there was one point where Bobby Lashley, like, he was always in the picture, but he never quite got it. So it's like, how many times is Drew going to be in the picture and he's not going to get it? Cause not like he hasn't been there before.
Yeah, exactly.
So, this match was amazing, and I was kind of worried because at the moment, because I know sometimes it's like a 50-50. You never know. It's not a guarantee that if you're in your home country or your home state or your home whatever that you're gonna get it. So I was kind of worried, like, this might be the chance, but then what happens to Roman? So now that Roman has it, what happens to Drew McIntyre? Because if the setup is correct as far as, and we all know that Roman Reigns doesn't necessarily need the belts. We're taking this story out of the box. We have to definitely put The Rock and Roman Reigns in the box. He doesn't necessarily need the belt in order to have a feud with The Rock. It will make things even more like bigger as far as mainstream or next level. So if that's the case, where does Drew go? And I actually have something to play from The Miz, who posted something right after talking about Monday Night Raw. So.
Ooh, interesting. I think with Drew, even though he lost, again, it was a protected loss. He lost strictly because of interference, strictly because I third Uso, Baby Uso, Lil Uzi Vert, showed up, pulled up, ranked his neck down the rope, and he turns around into like the 18th spear of the night that he has received. So Drew's protected in the loss, and I think it gives him a reason to have some type of rematch, some type of something that doesn't exclude him from the title picture. This isn't AEW where Hangman Page lost and just ends up like no rematch, no nothing. I think Drew will still be involved in the picture. I enjoy all of the questions. We have more questions than answers, because also, again, there's Austin Theory over there, still the Money in the Bank winner. You know what I mean? Still cashing in his briefcase. We're going to do it with it.
That was like hilarious.
And this is the second premium live event where Theory's run down and has just instantly been knocked out, whether it been Brock Lesnar and now it's been Tyson Fury. So I think this might be a nice continuous gag until like the one day he ducks the punch or something happens. But or will Drew challenge
that all the way till the end of the year?
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many questions. And does Drew challenge Austin Theory for the Money in the Bank contract? What if Roman is like, all right, Drew, that's enough of you? And Drew pulls up on Raw and he's like, hey, the Money in the Bank contract, what's up? But also there's the Johnny Gargano factor. As crazy as that is to say, he mentioned he wanted to be an IC champion. He mentioned he wanted to be a WWE champion. So I think we have more questions than answers. I think that Drew McIntyre will be just fine. Again, it was a protected loss. And now we have Roman, 735 days, now 24 title defenses, and still your tribal chief, head of the table, undisputed WWE Universal World, European Land, Planet of Earth, Super Galaxy, Milky Way Galaxy champion.
And
Junior,
so,
senior.
So like I said, I have a clip from both actually Bobby Lashley and The Miz right after the pay-per-view. So here's The Miz.
Hi. I'm on vacation. The past couple weeks have been a little doozy, but being here, I've been able to get my mind right, have a sense of clarity. And in that sense of clarity, I've come to a realization that last Monday night, I had Bobby Lashley beat. If it wasn't for the man whose name we shall not mention, I would have beaten Bobby Lashley, hit him with a skull crusher. Now I pinned him 1, 2, 3. So here's what I want. I want a rematch against Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship, because I want to make that title relevant. I want to make it prestigious and honorable, and I want it to be represented on every single premium live event. I want it to be represented bigger than the WW Undisputed title, bigger than the Intercontinental title, bigger than the Tag Team Championships, and only a star like myself can do that. So this Monday night, I want Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship with no distractions. I want it in a steel cage match.
Oh,
Ready?
Yes. I'm filming something, but now I'm filming something with you.
Oh my! So we have Lashley.
the OnlyFans link.
I know, right? We have Lashley. Oh dang it! I lost it. I'll get Lashley in a second. We have Lashley saying something. Oh, here you go. I got it. Responding, which I mean, this is the beautiful thing about social media. Like,
yeah,
it's
so
just
quick.
It's so quick. Kind of low.
First of all, you have the audacity to say that you can beat me. Second of all, you say that you want to bring respect, honor, and credibility to this title. That happens by staying out of the hands of people like you. Now that's my responsibility. And as far as your request to have another match against me this Monday night in the steel cage, it is granted.
No.
And it's not granted because I think that you deserve it. And it's not granted because I think that you have an opportunity. It's granted because I'm going to make an example out of you. This title means something in the hands of the Almighty.
Lashley.
It's so funny. Imagine if you saw, actually, I cut it off right before he literally presses the button to stop. Imagine you're like driving down your your neighborhood block and you see Lashley with the belt.
Just like
talking to the phone, like hilarious.
Like you see your neighbor Lashley just like cutting the grass and he's like that, his voice. I mean, listen, if that dude was standing in front of my face saying that, I'll be
really need to say anything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I
don't know. I've seen Bobby Lashley in person. Okay, that dude it's like if a horse was a person. Drew McIntyre's the same way. If a horse could stand up and like be like a human, then like that's like Lashley.
Did I tell you about my Drew McIntyre airport story?
Oh my gosh. Did like you guys have like the same color kilt or something?
No.
Okay.
So I was working for X-Pac's show and I had to go pick up Drew McIntyre from the airport. So Drew McIntyre was in my car and it was just a regular car. It wasn't too small. It wasn't too big. It was just a regular, normal human car. And his head was literally like just there. And so we go to the Waba Grill to get him some food. And he's just like massive.
Grill.
super nice, but just a massive, like fitting into a regular size car is not a. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
not
and
a
especially because with Drew McIntyre being Scottish, they don't have cars over there. They are ride dragons. Dragon. You saw Clash of the Castle. You saw the dragons outside the stadium.
I did. It did make me feel. Have you been watching House of the Dragon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it did make me feel like it was like
it's very
very close. But, here we go.
No incestory, no incest.
I was thinking the same thing. I didn't want to say it.
Right.
I didn't want to say it. Like,
unless you want to throw it back to the old Katie Lee Burchill, Paul Burchill storyline back in the day, but we'll leave that with Vince. We'll leave that in the Vince thing. But overall, great pay-per-view. I enjoyed the bloodline still being a presence without, Jay and Jimmy there. I love the stable, the bloodline, because it's absolutely hilarious. Like, could you imagine trying to fight the ops? You trying to fight your ops, and then they just got hella cousins just always showing up. Like,
yeah,
Drew's like, there is no bloodline here, no Heymans here. I'm good to go. But there's one more.
No.
They're like the bloodline. They're like the Samoan Wayans brothers. It's just like so many Wayans. It's so many Usos, different cousins, different
right,
familia,
and that you've never
everywhere.
seen before, so that you don't even know that you
exactly.
No
and they just got new ones ready to show up at any given moment. So
I mean, if they sign the Tonga twins.
I was gonna say the Tonga. Yep. So,
no, from Wow's coming out, and I don't know what they've seen. I don't know if they've been on TV for us to see them, but Wow has two athletes called the Tonga twins. I feel very, hey Bobby, very Uso inspired. I feel when we're gonna be doing an after show, so when it does hit, we can discuss it. But if they sign them,
that'd be dope.
Like it's a wrap. But I also be very upset. I'm gonna take her out of the box real quickly. I'll be very upset if they do all of this and Naomi is never to be seen. If she chooses not to be seen, but they bring her back and she's still like, bro.
They gotta find a way. Also, real quick to go to Bobby Lashley and The Miz Monday Night U.S. Championship match, cage match on Raw. Dexter Lumis will be involved somehow, I believe. And I think with it being a cage match, he's going to pull up under the ring. He's going to emerge from under the ring and do his thizzle because they're going to need to find a way to kind of like end that. And does this lead to a possible Miz and Maurice versus Dexter and Indy Hartwell index feud? So we're going to kind of see.
Has she been called up? I thought she was left back in NXT. Well, not left back.
Well, she's still at NXT, but I think this could be the way to get her up because it seems like they might be leaning towards pairing Miz and Maurice again, and I think they're the best I think they're the best wrestling couple tag team out there. So why not find a way to have the index story move from NXT to Raw with them having now really a true WWE universe where everything's linear, everything makes sense,
right?
As we've been seeing, as prime example been Imperium coming back together today, even though they have different names individually, they're still Imperium and we know who they are. So, really excited, but amazing premium live event. I hope this leads to more premium live events overseas in the UK because I want to be there because that thing looked incredible.
It did. For sure. For you guys. So, Bobby, yeah, we are great. This premium live event was amazing. If you guys have any, want to say anything else about it, definitely go over and head over to our Twitter page, WW Talk Pod, to discuss more. But overall, it was a great live event, and I was really kind of low key upset that I had to multitask 3 or 4 things at the same time while watching TV. But it definitely makes me look forward to other pay-per-views, and with All Out tomorrow, if they're gonna change a little bit of things now, seeing that it's a tighter, it's now seeing the direction that WWE is going, not necessarily meaning that they have to follow them, but if one team has tightened everything up, you as the next team have to do something. And will they do something for All Out tomorrow, or will they do something as the weeks progress?
Yeah, because I feel like this might be the first weekend or the first time that we've had back-to-back WWE and AEW events, whether it be pay-per-view, premium live event, whatever you want to call it. I feel like this has been the first one. So we're really going to see, how they do. And AEW also has to go against NXT when Worlds Collide that same day as well. So, All Out's they're gonna literally have to go. Yes, Bobby, correct. Yes, that's gonna be before All Out. So we're gonna get nearly 5 to 6 hours of WWE premium content before All Out airs. So AEW literally needs to go all out tomorrow for that pay-per-view, because people are going to be talking. But I'm excited as somebody who witnessed the Monday Night Wars, as somebody who was alive during WWF, WCW, going back and forth, ECW as well. This is a very exciting time to be a wrestling fan, and tonight really got things started.
It did. Tonight, this afternoon, this morning, whenever it was.
Wherever you are
in the world. But have you decided you're joining us tomorrow?
I'm going to try. I got like 11 things to do, so I'm gonna try to be on. Of course, I'm on air, Power 106 tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So, I will be on 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But might do an extra hour for tickets. Who knows? Just listen to me to find out what time I am. AKA, I'm waiting to get an email back. But so I'm gonna be watching When Worlds Collide live at the studio. But we'll see what goes down tomorrow.
We'll see what happens. So definitely check out our website for updates, www.talkpod.com. We were going to just do an All Out post show, but we're probably going to do an NXT and All Out post show, just tie it all together. Why not? So that's going to be happening tomorrow right after All Out. So be here at the same channel on YouTube, Twitch, all that good stuff. Definitely follow us on all social media platforms, WW Talk Pod. You can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Shout out to Bobby, Ty, Bosa, Sammy, everybody, LP, BG, 8891. So everybody who's joined us in the chat, everybody who's going to be watching this, thank you guys so much. And thank you for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao, y'all.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet.